everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We're ready to start. I'm Tonya DeCosimo from Power Talk Radio and, of course, Power Magazine and Power's women's organization. So welcome today. We have such an exciting guest, and I think this topic is important for all women. My guest today is Sharlene Jamison. She's a financial professional, a mother of two, a businesswoman, and an entrepreneur. She became passionate about the financial profession through her life experiences with divorce, single parenting, caring for ill parents with no long-term care benefits, and losing loved ones that were underinsured. Her life experience has taught her that in many situations, what if can quickly become a reality, and being unprepared doesn't stop life from taking place. Sharlene's goal is to help people make a difference in their lives by empowering them to take control of their own financial future based on facts, investment tolerance levels, data, history, research, and not emotion. So thank you so much for being here, Sharlene. I know we're going to learn a lot. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm honored to be here to share my story to make a difference and have an impact. Thank you so much for the introduction. I would just want to follow up and continue a little bit about my introduction on who I am and how I got into the business. As she did state, challenges has brought me to the business in reference to sharing my knowledge to protect and empower others. I pretty much has been working with people in reference to planning for goals and futures for the last 26 years, whether it's in the business world or on the financial side. So on the financial side, I've been doing it for over a decade. I am a financial advisor with GWN Securities, and I love what I do. I had my house built when I was in my 20s, and then life happened. I went through a divorce. I gave up my rights to child support, and within 6 months after that, I lost my job. So now I'm raising two children. My children were the ages of 3 and 9. And then I'm left with a mortgage, responsibilities, and the unexpected. And I gave up my rights to child support because I was the dominant income in the household. So the beauty in that is it pretty much pushed me into this industry to want to teach and help other people and empower them not to make financial decisions based on emotions and feelings. Just because I knew I had the power and I was strong enough to do it, and being able to manage and maintain my lifestyles and my bills, I made life a little easy for my ex-husband and a little more challenging for me and my children. But the beauty in that, it created a team, and it created a strong environment. It created a bond that if it didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be standing here talking to you guys right now. So one door closed and another door opened. And now I'm empowered to take my story, impact, and help other people. So basically what we're going to be talking about, enough about me. Basically what we're going to be talking about today is really about you guys. It's really about you. So the topic really speaks for itself. Women, money, and retirement, right? Women, money, and retirement. We're going to talk about the 4 C's on how to obtain and prepare yourself for retirement, right? So we've all heard, ladies, we've all heard a diamond is a lady's best friend, a diamond, the sparkle. I decided to wear a little bit of sparkle today. And the reason why I decided to wear a little bit of sparkle today is because the diamond we're talking about today is not your retirement plan. The diamond is you. You are the diamond. So when we're talking about a retirement plan, we're talking about pretty much, we're creating a frame around you. What does that mean? What is important to you in retirement? So we're going to talk about the 4 C's. And the 4 C's, what we're going to talk about has to do with clarity, comfort, cost of living, and certainty. These are all topics that we should have surrounded around us to have the ideal investment around our retirement to help us live the life that we want to live in our retirement years, right? So the first we're going to talk about is clarity. We're going to talk about clarity. So how clear are you about your financial future? Ladies, I want you to take a few notes if you can. If not, you can ask some questions at the end. But clarity in retirement, what does that mean? So clarity in retirement means a different thing for everyone here. Everybody has a different purpose and a different goal on what retirement looks like for them. So I'm going to ask 5 questions. You can feel free to answer any of these questions at the end, or ask these questions that may concern you, or and put it in the chat box, and we'll deal with it accordingly. So I want to talk about the first question in clarity. How much income will you need in retirement? I want you to keep that answer to yourself. How much income do you think you need in your retirement years? How many years might you live in retirement? Now, if we knew that, right? We don't really know that answer. So we have to have a long-term plan, a long-term strategy to make sure that when that time comes, that we're prepared. The third question we're going to ask ourselves is, what resources do you currently have to fund your retirement? Do you have an IRA, which represents an individual retirement account? Do you have a 401k from a previous job? Do you have annuity right now? Do you have a personal savings? Where do you start? Where do you start? We're going to get to these questions, right? And the fifth question that we're going to ask ourselves, the fourth question we're going to ask ourselves is, what is your risk tolerance? What does that mean? How do you feel about losing or gaining money? Like, what are your concerns when you talk about an investment plan for the frame? Remember, you are the frame. In the center of this circle here, this diamond, let's consider this to be a diamond. You are the center. What's important to you? How do you want your money to be managed? Are you more concerned with gain, loss, building wealth, losing? What are your concerns? And then the fifth question that we're going to ask ourselves is, do you plan to leave anything to your beneficiary? Or do you have a favorite charity that in your retirement, when your time is here, that you want to leave to make a difference, that you can contribute to? So that is the first thing that we're going to talk about, right? So I want you ladies who are here to put inside of the chat a C, as if you feel that you need some clarity in reference to the frame of your retirement. You're the diamond, and are you fitting in your plan where you are today? Okay, so now the second question, the second thing that we're going to talk about is comfort. Comfort. What do you want your retirement years to look like, right? So when we talk about, to go back a little bit to clarity, when we talk about a diamond, why are we talking about a diamond? When we talk about a diamond is shiny, it's clear. The more quality it has, it kind of represents, okay, this is it. So the clarity that it has and being clear about where you are really helps the frame itself gets clearer. So in the second stage of the diamond that you need to fit in is comfort. So let's talk about, let's consider this diamond right now being a ring. Right? You bought a ring, this is your diamond ring, you're the it, right? Your comfort is important to you. Does it fit right? Is it ideally what you were looking for when you take it from a distance, right? Does this diamond really pop? Is it you? Do you feel proud wearing it? So let's talk about comfort a little bit in retirement, for your retirement frame. In your retirement years, do you want to maintain your lifestyle? What are you used to? What are your simple goals? Do you have to cut back in order to maintain? What percentage of your income that you currently have that you need to maintain during your retirement years? 60% of it, 70% of it, 100% of it, 80% of it? What do you need to change? You have habits that you need to cut back on. Would it be less entertainment for you? Or can you maintain the exact lifestyle that you currently have in your retirement years? Another question in reference to comfort, right? When we're talking about the diamond in itself, most people believe and think, I think so too, but the quality of it usually has a cost connected to it, right? So let's talk about the frame of retirement and you being in the center of it for you, because you're the center of the retirement. It's not about the product, it's all about you. Where do you want to fit? What does it look like for you? Is income stability important for you in your retirement years? And are you prepared for the transition into retirement? The comfort to be prepared for the transition into retirement, to give you the ideal goal of what your retirement looked like for you to be comfortable in your retirement, right? So we want to talk about framing a picture, a snapshot, and you being in the center of that snapshot, or how you would place this precious diamond, you, in the center of it, right? So in the transition years, it's so important, especially the closer you're getting to it. You want to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position where what's more important to you, like building wealth, how much more do you need to contribute? What is your time frame? Like how many years are you going to be preparing for retirement? Like are you 4 years away, 5 years away, 10 years away, 20 years away? Ideally, there's no one answer for any 1 year. It is all unique unto ourselves, right? So we're going to talk about clarity. We already talked about clarity. We talked about comfort, but we're going to talk about all these things. We're going to, in the end, ask a few questions. Third, on the 4 C's, right, is cost of living. Cost of living. So in our retirement years, and while we're currently living, cost of living, inflation, seems to always peak. I haven't seen it go down yet. Have you girls seen it go down? So if you think about cost of living, over time, if you go to the supermarket, the value of the dollar seems to be shrinking, right? You get less in your grocery bag than you would have gotten back in 1980s or back in the 1970s. Everything costs more. So in your retirement years, or let's say you're getting 60 to 70% of your income, you're no longer getting the 100% because you're not working anymore. Does the design retirement plan that you have, the investment plan that you have, does it offset the cost of living? Are you concerned about running out of money? What if you live another 20 years? Would you be concerned about that? Would you be concerned about outliving your money, right? Your funds, your investments. Would you be concerned about that? So, because in cost of living, there are certain things that we're talking about. We just talked about purchasing power. The value of the dollar seems to be shrinking over inflation because everything seems to cost more over time, right? Another thing to be aware of during your retirement years is cost for healthcare. Healthcare. That itself is always rising. And it can also, if you're a sickly person, it can actually erode your investments. So you want to make sure you have something in place and have the right retirement frame around the diamond and you in place to make sure that you don't outlive your money and you can live comfortable in your retirement years and you have clarity as you go into your retirement years. And while you're there, that you continue to have clarity. Now, the fourth one that we're going to talk about in the 4 C's, because we already covered clarity, we covered comfort, and we covered cost of living. The last thing that we're going to talk about in the 4 C's is, last but not least, is certainty. What is certain? What is certain? What's certain about your investments in your retirement years, right? But what's certain about today? Well, market volatility is a certain thing. We're dealing with it right now. We dealt with it during the pandemic. We dealt with it in COVID. We're dealing with it every day. We don't know what's going to take place in the market. So do you have a market strategy plan around your investment strategy that makes sure that at least maybe for some, the principal is protected? There are many different products, right? I represent many companies, but I represent my client. I represent you. I represent the diamond. I'm a broker, so I represent many, many, many companies. But really, ideally, my job is to work for you. We're not driven by products. We are driven about which product is the best fit for you to give you the return that answers those questions or concerns that you may have. Now, another thing that in reference to certainty, right? As people are living longer today. They're living longer, 85, 100. People are living longer. Market volatility is there. It's not going anything. You have to make sure that in your retirement plan, in your investment plans, that you're dotting the I's and you're covering the 4 C's that obtain what's best for you. You have to obtain what's best to you. So we're talking about clarity, comfort, cost of living, and certainty. So for some people, when it comes to these things, what's important to them is having stable income, making sure that their principal is protected. For some people, their insurance needs around their retirement plan, the nest egg, in this case, not the nest egg, but around the diamond. That's you, right? You want to make sure that if something were to happen that you didn't plan for, that it would not erode or, put you in a position that you have to go back into the work, you have to go back to work, or you have to downsize on your living. I mean, that may be a fit for some people. Ideally, you have to find out what particular diamond you want, right? So you are a diamond itself, right? But the frame around the diamond, which is you, which is your investment plan on what you want your retirement years to look like, has a lot to do with What are your concerns? What do you want? What are your goals? What does retirement look like for you? All right. And so for some people, what's more important for them is more of the investment return, managing their wealth, having their income grow. For some people, it's more like being stable and making sure there is insurance needs that if something were to happen and the unexpected took place, that they're still standing. So we're going to take a few questions in the end. But in the end, what I would like for you guys is to really think about what we just talked about, and you could tell me what your concerns are. What I will be doing in the end, leaving my name and my number behind. You can call if you have any questions. But for those who are interested in having a free one-on-one consultation to find out for the diamond who they are, the center in their investment plan for retirement, ideally, let's create a roadmap for you. Let's talk about your concerns. If you're interested in having a consultation and doing a one-on-one with me and figuring out that you have all the 4 C's in place to obtain the goals that you want in your retirement years, can you put 1 in the chat so I can see who I can follow up with and see what I can do to be a blessing to help you in reference to any questions that you may have that may be a roadblock that makes, or do you have somebody right now that you feel like, okay, I have a retirement plan, I have a financial advisor. A lot of people, when it comes to their life, because we're talking about you're the diamond, right? We're talking about your life. It's okay to have a second opinion. It's okay to get feedback. It's okay to know where I stand and do I have all my C's in place? Do I have all my C's in place? And so you're more than welcome if you want to do a free one-on-one consultation to address any concerns that you may have. Just put 1 in the chat and I can do a follow-up with you and we'll schedule something and figure out where we go from here. But for all the ladies who's attended, I do want to thank you guys for showing up. Please put C in the chat if you feel that you need more clarity. I know you already put the C in there before for the free consultation. Put the C in the chat if you feel that you need more clarity or you feel like you're already there. I want you guys to feel free to ask me any questions that you may feel that is important to you. I can leave my information now. I'll also leave it in the chat. Again, my name is Sharlene Jamison. You can reach me directly on my cell. I'll also leave you my office number. My cell phone number is 917-670-5994. That is a way that you can get me directly, or you can call my office. My office is 631-232-7900. Any questions, ladies? Okay, I do have a question here. I have a question here. Someone has asked, do you think long-term care is important? Yeah, so that's an insurance need. Long-term care will be important for some people, and what that is like when you're not able to take care of yourself, and sometimes how that can affect us as women, because women, we're all natural nurturers. If you are still working and someone that you're taking care of may need long-term care, or you need long-term care, ideally, if you're still working, you have to take care of someone who needs long-term care, that affects your retirement plan. But long-term care is usually for someone who maybe has a few assets and want to make sure that they can have someone that can take care of them. Insurance is important to make sure that's one of the things that's needed. I have another question here. What age do you think I should start saving for retirement? Well, my answer to that question is as soon as possible. You should start saving for retirement as soon as possible. Ideally, you can, after putting away and paying your bills, you can put maybe 30% towards savings or whatever you have. If it's not a percentage, open up an account, have something coming out of your paycheck regularly. You could sit down with a financial advisor. You can call me and we can come up with a plan that's suitable for you. Okay. Oh, I have somebody that said, thank you for being there. Oh, you're so very welcome. It's an honor to be able to give back. Is life insurance important for everyone? Life insurance, it depends. I mean, if you have a family that's relying on your income, and if something, well, I'm not going to say if, we all have an expiration date, right? We have a born date, we all have an expiration date. But let's say you still have children during that time and they want to go to college and they're relying on you to help them get there. or you have a mortgage, or you have expenses, life insurance is important for those that are relying on your income, to leave it to your beneficiary, your loved ones, to make sure that their plan doesn't stop if you're no longer here. Is a Roth IRA better than a 401k? Well, I wouldn't say that. It depends on what the reason why they're starting it. They're both IRAs. So one is an individual, they're both IRAs, but one is qualified and one is non-qualified. But even though on the Roth, you can have a qualified and a non-qualified. But IRA really just represents individual retirement account. Okay, I have another question. Is accident insurance worth it? I am definitely going to say yes on that, right? So when you say is accident insurance worth it? Well, life is unexpected. When you say accident insurance, I don't know if you're talking P&C. P&C is not something that I sell or offer. But if you have assets and even if you have young children in your home, or you don't have enough coverage, or an accident takes place, if you're not protected in its entirety, that can pretty much wipe out your nest egg, your plan for retirement. So, I mean, you guys have talked a lot about product. Let's talk about you. So I want to know who's if it's okay for me to ask a question, who's in the audience that may currently had a previous job and no longer there, to have a 401k that's sitting around? Anybody that currently has a 401k that really haven't had it managed or looked at in a while, Okay. And do you have anybody, is there anyone who is currently also, I have someone in the chat that says me. Yeah, is there anyone who feel like, okay, when was the last time, supposed to go to the doctor, annually, for some people, they do it biannually, or for someone that needs more care and attention in a doctor's office, they go as often as they need to go. So, when was the last time, and how frequently do you meet with your financial advisor? Do you think that you should go? I would suggest you should be meeting with your financial advisor at least once a year or biannually, because things change, life change. What were your concerns initially when you started? It could have, changed. If you have a 401k, usually most companies, that when they set those 401ks up, they basically have it where you kind of set it and forget it. You really don't have any advice. You kind of asking your colleagues that are sitting beside you as to what are they doing. So you should have someone that will walk you through, especially as you come closer to those retirement years. Even if you're not close to those retirement years, is your money working for you the way that you want it to? Is it in alignment with your risk tolerance? Are you more concerned about gaining, losing, or managing money, or equally concerned about both? What do you want your income to do for you? Okay, I have another question. What percentage of your income should you put away? Well, you can put up to 30%, 20%, but if you're in a position where you're putting more in a bank account and it's just sitting there, increase it. If you feel okay, I have a window where I can put more in, put in as much as you can. It depends on what is surrounded around the diamond. You're the diamond, right? You got clarity, you know where you are. Do you have more bills than money? So in each person's situation, ideally, you have to create the frame around you, You have to create the frame around you. There's never too little. It's all about starting, getting a plan in place. So that way you will have something that'll take place in alignment as to, getting the results you want, and having the comfort, the certainty, the clarity, and being prepared for the cost of living, all the four C's to obtain the lifestyle that you want during retirement. Find out what's important to you, did you change your beneficiary? Were you married? Did you go through a divorce? Did you look at your paperwork? Is everything still, in order, or did you make the changes that needed to be changed? It's very important that you sit down with someone and give them a snapshot of where you are and where you want to be. Any more questions? So when we first started, I actually put a question out there, and I got a few people here that do want to follow up in reference to a one-on-one. You can feel free to contact me again. My number is 631-232-7900. That is my office number here in New York. And my number, as well as my cell phone number where I can be reached, is 917-670-5994. Again, my name is Sharlene Jamison. I am a broker who represents many, many companies, but I work for you. I work for the client. And ideally, I love to have the opportunity to be able to share and give back in any way to give you the roadmap or create the frame around the diamond, which is you.
Thank you so much, Sharlene. I love the whole 4 C's and the diamond. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, as we all know. And, you know, everyone does have a different plan, a different financial income. And I think those 4 C's, no matter what financial state you're in, everybody needs to think about those. And I know it's difficult to go into certain products because everybody has a different need. But I learned a lot from you today. I hope all our guests did. It's something to think about, whether you're 30 years old or 60 years old, right? I guess we never save enough. And, you know, especially for the single women out there with the long-term care. I mean, I think that's important. I'm not a financial advisor, but we all have to think about, you know, who's going to take care of us when we're old? Do we have children? Are we single? You know, who's going to be there for us? So I think that's something that's very important also. But I want to thank you so much for being here. I learned a lot. I love the 4 C's and I love diamonds.
Thank you so much for having me. I was glad to be a part of it. I played many, many roles, you know, married, divorced, single. And in each role, you have to put on a different hat. But what I have learned in my journey is that you must put your mask on first and put yourself in a position to save yourself. And yes, as a single individual, I do think that is very important, especially if you don't have anybody around you, if you don't have any children. And even if you do, put your mask on first. Put your mask on first. And if you don't need that product, it's better to have insurance than not to have insurance. If you think about it, we all have car insurance, we have home insurance. When nobody is expecting their house to, you know, get on fire, but you have insurance, right? No one expecting to have a car insurance accident, but you're prepared for the what if. Why not protect the diamond? Why not protect your diamond and get as much knowledge in your financial education that you need to know what is the best move and the right move for the concerns that I may have to address to get me to where I want to be, the ultimate goal.
Thank you. And if anybody's interested in speaking with Sharlene, you can contact me, tonya@powerwoe.com, or you can contact Sharlene directly. Thank you. You're a diamond girl.
Bye, guys. You're all diamonds. Bye, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.